Hello, everybody. Is the sound working? Hi, Eric. Neighbor, how's it going? Hi, Hater. JJ, Rancher. Hi, Michael. Hey, Mark, how you been? Is the sound okay? Yes, no? Jerome de Marseille, how are you? Sounds good. Great. I wasn't sure. Um, you probably have a lot of reverb. Let me see if I can turn that down. This might be a little better. Okie doke. Thanks, Mark. Brian? Thomas, how are you? Boston Collector. Frazal, how are you? And that looks like is that hello from the UK? Truman, how are you? MG, your first time here. Oh, well, um, this will teach you. I hope you have a good time. Um, Here's what I wanted to talk about. Oh, good. Oh, good, good, good. Thank you. Hello, Homer. Yeah. Oh, okay. Antiquorum. How you doing? Okie doke. Um, let's get down to business, I guess. Um, and and this has to do with where you get your best watch deals from. And so instead of me starting off, what I'd really like is for you guys to start off, and then I'll talk about what I do in terms of trying to find a really good deal. So let me ask you that. What strategies? I'm looking for a good deal, not just a watch. I mean, like if you go to some place like Cellini's is a great place. It's on Park Avenue in New York, and they've got everything, and they have all of the what you might say the unique brands. They carry Beauvais, Voutilanen, Gronfeld, uh, Laurent Ferrier, all of those. But I don't think you really would go there saying, "I'm looking for, how to really get something at a great price." They're great. It's a great store, but um, I don't know. I never have tried to get a great deal from them, but they're a great store. If that makes any sense. Shopworn has good deals. Yeah, JJ, that used to be my go-to place at one time. Shopworn used to have H. Mosers and Parmigianis. Hey, branded headline. A good question should be what makes a good deal, and how do you determine that? We're getting philosophical. Or you define those terms? Okay. Um, yeah, that point, let me see if I can sort of at least what I'm thinking about, that you can get a really good watch, and by really good, this is what I mean. It has, certain features to it, like a good movement, a good case, a good dial, all of those things really well done, and they're done, and you can get it at a price far under the MSRP. That's essentially what I'm talking about. Now, I suppose you could, talk about paying MSRP for a Rolex and getting that without having any kind of premium on top of that. To me, that's a sucker's deal anyway, but that's another story. Um, okay, let's see what Michael has. First, I read post. There you go. If I'm looking for a specific watch, I search the internet. I have found deals through auction websites by chance when I have lowballed prices. Yeah, pieces. Yeah, I think those are all good ones. Michael, um, I've gotten, I think, a couple what I consider good buys from auctions. What happens with auctions, with me at least, is that I sort of you've gotta get them really, really low at a really low entry bid because they always whack you with, like, a 25% premium on top of the, hammer price. But there's some auctions that don't have quite that high of a hit on them. So, I don't know. Thomas, I'm a big, eBay hunter, lots of, vintage watches. eBay is another great place to look for watches. I agree. Some of the best deals I've got have been from eBay. Found a Rolex dealer going out of business in 2017. MG, when you find a dealer going out of business, that can be one of the best deals anywhere. I and another and I found a one going out. Not only was he going out of business, it sort of was like the whole company had been sold, and I think they were told is that their old stock wasn't gonna be they were gonna come on with totally new watches after they were sold, and so the existing ones had been sold at about half price. This is with, Urban Jurgensen, when Kari Voutilainen, and his group, took it over. That is a key place. The only trouble is that I mean, we didn't find out about, the one that we got until think the other our fellow vultures, I'll say, had already picked it clean. Homer, I'm not a collector, so Lurique, was a great deal for me. Nigel, yeah, Lurique, I think, is a great deal, except for one thing, it's a lot of work. You sort of you put in the time for it, but it's hard to beat Larique. I mean, here what we were able to do is create a watch basically at pretty close to manufacturer's price. I was told, well, there's this and that and so forth. Well, yeah, that's true, but there is with what you're paying for off the shelf. Excuse me. There are lots of dealers liquidating inventory at the moment. I didn't know that. Let's get a list of them, Michael. See what we can find. That would be great. I will not purchase from Chrono 24 anymore. Bad experience, not worth the hassle, even if there's a good deal. Yeah, I've had my most recent experience with Chrono 24 couldn't have gone better. And so, but I've had other ones. I lost a watch I really liked because they were adding to the tax. In other words, what they were doing was that there's on the VAT, they would add their own little C24 VAT, and so I've always was upset about that. But a recent transaction I had with him went perfectly well. Had some luck from private sellers on Chrono 24. That's another source, MG. I think a lot of people, and myself included, are very nervous about buying private sellers on Chrono 24. One of the things that you can do with Chrono 24, though, that I do like, is that you put the money in escrow until you get the watch, and that that I think is a pretty good deal. But I agree with Michael. You can have some really bad experiences with them as well. Hater, do some research into watchmakers and get some info on what companies and workers, also future AHCI members. Great, Hater. Those are perfect. Those are some I use myself. Those are great ones. Sometimes the sweeter deal comes um, after another has fallen through when you look back at the you know, Owen, that happened to me. One of the best deals I ever got. That was exactly what happened. Was the one that I blamed on Chrono 24 for falling through. And so I was, sort of got over that and happened to run right into all of this liquidation of the Urban Jurgensens. So that can happen. Urban Jurgensens are still at MSRP. Not for me, buddy. This- I'll put it that way. Let's see. Also, if you're lucky, you'll stumble upon a group that works with the best watch manufacturers in the world. Hmm. I don't know who they would be, Hater. Boston Collector. If a brand is listing a new watch, MSRP, very high, and then on secondary retailer, it has it 30% off that MSRP, that might still not be a good deal. You might need to buy a watch used, pre-owned, worn. That's true. Hey, Abdul, good to see you. Coming out, I see you're venturing out of the Black Forest. They're all gone. Bright, branded headlights. I can tell you who had them. Del Rey had them. Hey, PDX Rick. I have yet to buy from a private seller on C24. Also nervous, yeah. But the escrow makes me feel like maybe, you know, one of the best deals I got from eBay. Got it from eBay, and it was. I mean, you talk about getting a watch with no protection. I don't know why I did it, uh, but I got a great deal. It was also the only time I've ever used a cashier's check. I told the guy, "I'll send you a cashier's check." He didn't want, I don't know, he was living out of a cigar box or something, but that was what I did. I had bad deals on eBay back in the day, with mostly watches weren't described correctly. That can happen. The thing I like about eBay now is when you buy from them, you can have them go through their authentication process. That isn't bad. They did send one through their authentication process, excuse me, that I bought, that the, moon phase wasn't working. Moon phase, they'd have to keep it there for a month to see the moon phase. The gray market is that large You mean the secondary market, Eric. And with that said, I don't think we as an individual be able to get really good deals. They will end up with Federico, where you got your Urban Jurgensen from. You're right, Eric, but that was really a good deal. I mean, when you can get something at half price from the MSRP. I had wanted an Urban Jurgensen for a long time. I just couldn't afford one. And when I was able to get it at half price, that was what I could afford. I've gotten some good deals regarding uh, brand deals from just listening. Okay, be careful. On the last one, my last good deal was actually that was the one that was I had on Chrono 24 and just sort of lowballed on a Fabergé. One of the things, this is another area I think you can really get some great buys, but I think as Hader said, you really have to do your research and know what you're getting. The so-called luxury brands that are not recognized as being real watch companies. Uh, Hermes, you can get some great buys from Hermes. You don't get them. I mean, they're not that low, but they're still good buys, and especially on the used market or pre-owned market. People are getting smarter all the time, though, about what's good and what isn't. You have a watch out there who won a GPHG grand prize of any, not a grand prize, but one of the prizes. Those can be, good buys for the buyer. One of my favorite is God, they won a sports watch. I think it was back in 2011, 2012. Was I think it was Mont Blanc, and they had like a world timer, something like that, and they won for the sports watch, I think, or maybe they won for a travel watch. I'm not sure which one, but those things you can still find them, and they're very good. They're very well priced. What are the internet sites I use? Pretty much Google search. I mean, the I always check out um the watch outlet. The watch outlet has had good things for a long time. They're almost all out of watches, so I don't know what they did or how they got this batch of watches they got. Uh, but the watch outlet's always a good place to take a look at things. If like I said, they've been running out. They used to have tons of good deals, but their stock just got emptied out by us greedy watch collectors. Um, you're right. Boston Collector, much easier to get secondary deals on dress watches than sports watches. That is very true. The most popular watch style is the sports watch. And so you have watch companies like Omega and Rolex that specialize in that, and they always know that someone's always looking for one that is under MSRP, and that's usually going to be something on the used market. Had some good deals from, oh, okay, Cronex in Europe. Oh, that does look like an interesting place. I'll check that out. I think research always helps getting a good deal. Japan seems to have a good variety of cool watches and good condition. Very good point, Abdu. I found the same thing. Um, One of the things that I found with the Japanese sellers, they weren't much for negotiation. I think they're like my my ancestors, the Swede. they think they have a fair price, and that's what they're going with, and it's true, I guess. Um, but I have gotten whenever I order a watch from a like on a secondary market from Japan, I get what exactly what they're selling. That is a good market. Oh, petite aiguille, yeah. Petite aiguille is that's one of the categories in the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie. Yeah, we've just sort of started the entry process into the 2023 Grand Prix. We're our new watch will have enough to have a presentation for it, and then have enough of watch in case we get to nominations, which we're all hoping for. That we'll have a watch for them to take around. Have to check with everybody on that to make sure. The watch outlet finally sold the PFO. Oh, did they? Oh no. Oh, the Ovale that PF the Parmigiani Fleurier Ovale. I've been looking at that watch for years. That thing, even at a special sales price, that thing was $37,000. And I guess they weren't about to go any lower. I hope they got all of that. The MSRP originally on that watch was 70,000. So yeah, Truman. It's really interesting. Aiguille is used for instead of calling them hands, they call them needles, which I guess is I don't know. The hands of a watch probably look more like needles, but they're referred to as aiguille in French and Swiss French. So yeah, needles is correct. How you doing, Hans? Yeah, Michael, you are absolutely, absolutely right. That's a good thing. That's another thing to look for. Look for a watch that when they're first advertised and they haven't sold, the longer they haven't sold, I think the better the deal you can get on it. Um, and Michael, exactly what Michael said. That's when to start your negotiations. Smaller size vintages are good deals, and not a lot of people like the 34 to 37. Absolutely right. That is a fantastic deal. There are a lot of people um, who prefer the smaller size too. They don't have big, hunky, chunky wrists like I've got. They've got, regular man size wrist. Excuse me. And so they like the smaller ones. Yeah. Got it. Stupid cough. Let me say something about the Ovale. The Ovale has the Hebdo Damari movement, same one as the other Hebdos. Drink some water. I don't have any water nearby. Thank you, though. Yeah, no, that is something. There are certain ones that you can get from an older time that you can save money on. Whether those are considered deals or not, I think is or you're just getting a vintage watch because vintage watches you can get great buys on them as far as what you have to spend. Good grief! What was thank you, all of you helpful mothers out there. I will try all of those: hot water, honey, lemon, and shredding ginger. There you go. Um, okay, what else you got here? No chance now to get a good deal on the golden lips, I guess. Yeah, I think you're right. There was a time. There are a lot of watches that you could pick up. I mean, it's like as like right before the pandemic, you could get a lot of watches really cheap. And I think during the pandemic, a lot of people didn't have much to do, and so they, at least collectors, and so they spent their time finding out about watches. And like, you could pick up a Daniel Roth or uh, a Roger Dubuis, and some of these other ones were really great prices. But that sort of went away. Also, too, you can get an FP Journe, 2019, and not anymore. You can, I mean, the MSRP now is the bargain price if you can find one. Yeah, you get unloved watches and unloved models of watches. You're right, Abdul. Those are the ones. And there are lots of really good watches, I mean, out there, and by good watches, I mean, to me anyway, they primarily have good movements. Um, there are a lot of watches that they'll have a lot of fancy things done to them. They'll have engraving or they'll have some guilloche and some other things like that, but, basically, a Solida or ETA movement, and they work. Oh, it's young Brando. How you doing, man? What's up, Eli? Oh, yes. Young Brando's tip, set keywords on searches, even misspellings, patient and insistent on your budget. Absolutely. Well, um, those are all good things. Um, if you choose watches that are quality but not popular, exactly. You want something of high quality, low popularity. That'll work. Okay, rancher. Let's be a bush ranger, huh? Out there beating the bushes. That's funny. eBay or online seems to be the site looking for unsophisticated sellers. There you go. Somebody's got a watch and they need money, and you can make a lot of interesting deals. I think a lot of those watches still present is a good deal for what they are, like Daniel Roth, older Roger Dubuis. Universal Geneve. They used to be absolute steals, though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. There seem to be two classes of older Roger Dubuis. There's something that I'll call sort of the sympathy group, which I really like, and then there are those crazy ones. I swear they. I don't think they were designed by Dubuis, but his partner. What's his name? Just weird looking stuff. Um, but you're right. Those are those are great brands. Some of the older ones too, I found out that some of the older both of those brands have something other than movements designed by the Carlos Diaz. Yeah. Off you go, Michael. Take care. Forbin, you are you, God. Yeah. I don't know, Hans. It depends on the Lojeans that I think you're looking at. I got one of their equation of time watches, and I thought it was a great deal. Now that was, I think, from the mid '80s, and it was a special anniversary one that they did, and they got this fabulous watch for. I mean, try to get a an equation of time watch anywhere near what you can pick up a Lojeans equation of time watch for. I think they're great deals. Cough coming along great. Why are watch prices still climbing? Hobby is becoming very expensive. Any sign of prices coming down to the pre-pandemic level? I don't know, man. I haven't seen any sign of that. Um, I think what happens is that when some of us discover a watch that's a good buy, a lot of us will go pick one up, and then suddenly there aren't any of them left, or the person selling it realizes they're some value beyond what they're trying to sell it for, and they up back up the price. I don't know really, Alexander. I just don't know. eBay won't accept AE for payment on watches. AE. What's AE? James. Actually, some of the new off the shelf, even I know they all have eBay type, not eBay, but ETA movements. But I think a lot of the brand new off the shelf Longines are good buys. I really do. Uh, I I said it more than once that to so what's it called, the petite Seconde. That one I think is a great buy because you can find. I mean, when you pick them up on a secondary market. Watch Grinja did a study where the Swiss made more money than ever while selling the fewest number of pieces for an extended time. Don't see this reversing anytime soon. Thanks, James. Yeah, what she did on that finding out who made the most money. The Swiss are good at that. um, so we got to figure out something else. Plan B. I think it's like groceries in Europe, not coming down anytime soon. Yeah, yeah. groceries have gone up here too. There have been a lot of crazy things that have happened that have to do with all kinds of things that uh, food prices have jumped up. Okay, listen, guys, I tell you, my time is up. Um, went a little over. I had messed up my coughing. Sorry about that. Um, so anyway, guys, listen, thanks for coming, and hope to see you all next week. And if you get any other good ideas that come up for that, uh, maybe put them on High Horology Lounge or someplace like that. Meantime, take care.